Can you imagine being on a steam train in winter that is blocked by snow? That is just one of the stories in this edition of the Walla Walla Gazette for December 5th, 1896. In a blockade, a snowslide buries a train on the OR&N more than 30 feet deep. Notes from the diary of Mrs. J.W. Brock, who is one of the passengers. A novel entertainment on board the cars. How the rescue work was prosecuted. Today, the editor of the Gazette received carbon copies of leaves from the traveling journal of his mother, Mrs. J.W. Brock, describing the blockade on the OR&N. Mrs. Brock left Walla Walla Sunday night for Portland, where on Monday morning she expected to meet her husband. During the present year, she has traveled about 7,000 miles, visiting many interesting places and having numerous experiences. She has preserved her observations in a journal or diary. The book is called Forget-Me-Nots and is illustrated with sketches in pencil and watercolors. Here is her account of Snowbound on the Columbia. Tuesday, 11 a.m., December 1st, 1896, near Bridleveil. This day and hour finds me one of the trainload of passengers bound for Portland. But as our train is more bound to a snowbank than it is to our destination, our final arrival is a matter of speculation. More than 60 men and women bear me company. So long as the passengers and conductor have kept in good spirits as they have maintained so far, our situation will not seem so gloomy as the outside world might imagine that it would be. We have been in this position since yesterday, Monday morning at 10 o'clock, and the day and hour of our deliverance is known only by the foreman of the wrecking gang that is at work outside, if indeed it is known to him. The snow slides down from the steep mountainside against the train as fast as the workmen clear it away. 3 engines with snowplow attachment have been working on the track ahead of us now for 24 hours without accomplishing much. On the side of the coach next to the mountain, the snow is 20 feet deep and more, but on the other side, where the bank slopes down abruptly, we can look out upon the Columbia River. Fortunately for the comfort of the passengers, this slide occurred near a section house. The men resort thither to get coffee, biscuits, and pork, and the conductor has the same fare sent back to the train to the women and children. Conductor Coleman is the patient, courteous, and accommodating order of official that is needed on occasions of this kind. I often think that a perfect conductor is one in whom the qualities of preacher, soldier, walking dictionary and encyclopedia, and train master are most evenly combined. So far, we have heard nothing from the footman who was sent yesterday to Bridleveil, 5 miles ahead, the nearest telegraph station, to wire Portland for a relief train. A bridge inspector and the conductor have just finished an examination of our coaches. They say that the weight of the snow upon the sides of the cars and on their roofs will not cause immediate damage. I have made the acquaintance of Mr. and Mrs. Dick Harper of Columbia County, 2 very agreeable people. Mr. Harper was elected auditor of his county last November. He is taking his wife to Portland to select carpets and furniture for the home which they will fit up in Dayton. They are about to enter upon a new life, for heretofore they have lived upon a farm. I had intended to make the journey from the Dalles to my destination by boat, but when I reached the former point, I learned that the navigation on the Columbia is closed for the season. This is evident from the wreckage of a large craft, which is in sight from the train from a point below the Dalles. The swift and turbulent waters of the Columbia look as though they might treat a shipwrecked sailor as cruelly as do the ocean waves. Being caught in a blockade is not so bad when you're in a select company such as this one is. My traveling companion is a Portland lady who makes herself agreeable and entertaining. A Catholic priest, several college professors, and 2 or 3 public school teachers, and an Indian chief are among the other occupants on our coach. Conductor Coleman encourages us with the promise that if we stay here for a few days, he will finally feed us on baked snowball and Columbia River scenery for sauce. The bill of fare of the passengers who were imprisoned in a snowbank near here for 2 weeks during the hard winter of the 80s. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Workmen have been arriving all day, but still we are as much imprisoned as ever. 2 of the cars have been cleared of passengers so that the laborers may warm themselves and eat lunch. 1 gang of them have been working for 24 hours without nourishment. A snowplow is embedded in 40 feet of snow 2 miles west of us, and will probably be morning before it can be liberated. It is now snowing and storming furiously. Tuesday, 11 p.m. I have been listening to a varied entertainment. Dr. Hines, a well-known writer, preacher, lecturer, and historian, occupied our attention for a while with pioneer stories. And a professional comedian sang us 2 songs. Wednesday, 11 a.m. The workmen have cleared away enough of the snow so that light comes into our windows. The conductor has supplied us with sandwiches and coffee. The falling element has turned to rain. Wednesday, 3 p.m. One by one, the coaches are pulled out of this drift. As we emerged, it seemed as though we were passing through a snow tunnel. It has required Herculean strength of 7 locomotives to dislodge this train. A shout of joy goes up from the throats of the passengers as the train emerges from the snow, and the shovelers give a cheer of triumph. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Arrived in Portland, having been 68 hours out from Walla Walla. Pioneer Drug Company, number 6 Main Street, Walla Walla, Washington. M. Ryan, manager, also druggist and chemist. Patent medicines, perfumery, hair, tooth, nail, and flesh brushes, and in fact, everything appertaining to a first-class drugstore. Strict personal attention paid to putting up prescriptions. If you are liking this channel, please subscribe. Left in the dark. An incident occurred at a dance on Poverty Flat last Tuesday night, which was not down on the program, and which reads like an extract from the history of frontier days when the bad man appeared upon the scene with his gun. Last Tuesday night, a private social party was given by George McBride at the residence of the Letteral brothers on 8th and Willow Streets. Just before the ball broke up, the festivities were interrupted by the entrance of George and Andrew Piesner with drawn pistols, who, after a few preliminary remarks of a decidedly emphatic nature, began shooting out the lights at the same time, ordering the occupants to vacate. It is needless to say the command was obeyed. After wreaking their wrath upon the inanimate objects of the room to their entire satisfaction, they departed, but were met on Willow Streets by officers Love and Burroughs, who had been notified of the occurrence and taken into custody. The reason for the action of the prisoner boys is said to be on account of their not having been invited to the dance. John Smith has been dealing out Studebaker cutters with a rush that would indicate that Walla Walla people can afford the luxury of sleighing. It is thought among orchardists that the recent cold weather has created havoc among the fruit tree pests, an ill wind that blows no one any good. The 4th Cavalry received a carload of horses this week from William Frazier of Multnomah County, Oregon, who has a contract for supplying them with horses. Now is the time for some enterprising individual to lay in a good supply of horses. Those noble animals can be purchased of the city at 10 cents per head. Our opportunity to consult the great clairvoyant Professor Jorgensen. If life has been a disappointment and you want to know your destiny, then visit Professor Jorgensen. His mediumatic power is the talk of all who have seen him. He gives positive proof and satisfaction upon all affairs of life. Remember, he asks no questions and advises you by a higher than human power. Call and be convinced. Reading daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. $1.